Prague might be the most beautiful city in the entire world, but so many people say that it's just filled with scams, and that's not exactly true. I spent a full month exploring this city, so I'm going to share everything you need to know to have a great visit, and I'm going to start with some common mistakes that tourists make. The biggest mistake that most tourists make is they just stay in this old town area. And don't get me wrong, this is a beautiful part of town. It is historic, it's charming, it's a joy to wander through, but it's where most of the tourists hang out, so it's also where most of the tourist traps are. And it's also just not representative of all of Prague. You'll find that if you can branch out, this city has so much more to offer, and I'll help you when we get to the overrated, underrated sections of knowing which part of towns to explore. But if you can take just one thing away from this video, it's don't limit yourself to just the old town. This city has so much to offer. And another mistake that a lot of people make is they spend their whole time in Prague kind of looking over their shoulder and just being on edge, trying to figure out, hey, what do I need to be on the lookout for with scams? I'm constantly worried, and you just don't need to think about it that way. This place, like any city, yes, has some people that are looking to take advantage of you, but most of the people here are very kind, very welcoming. And I've always just been treated so well by the locals. I have some great people that I've met there, and I think you will find that too, that the people are just much kinder than it's advertised. And a little trick you can use to figure out if you're in a tourist trap area of town is look around and see if you can spot any tradelniks. Those are the things that smell amazing. You often see them kind of spinning around. They're covered in sugar, and they are great, but they're not actually a local cuisine. Those are from Hungary that have come up here because they figured out, hey, tourists don't know the difference, and they will buy them and overpay for them. So if you see those tradelniks around, you can probably identify that you're in an area that is serving tourists and not the locals, because trust me, the locals aren't dealing with these things and they're a bit overpriced. Another really big mistake that you can make is not using the public transit. Guys, this is one of the best transit systems in the entire world. It is very safe and easy to use, but when you don't use it as a visitor, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure, because you will find yourself stuck in that old town area. But the second that you commit to using that public transit, now the rest of the city becomes available to you because you're not having to walk forever. And you'll find that there's so much to explore that no other tourist goes to, because most people just make that mistake of not using the transit. And one of the first ways that tourists mess up is they end up not using public transit to get from the airport. And yes, you do have Uber here. They have Uber Airport, which is official. It's very safe. You don't have to worry about scams. If you are going to go that route because it is the quickest, it's also going to be the most expensive, about $30 US to get to the city. If you are going to go that route, I would recommend calling the Uber the second that you have your bags, because if you've never dealt with Uber Airport, you kind of follow this line and you all get queued up and you kind of got to wait your turn. So make that Uber call early. But if you're looking for a cheaper alternative, there's the Airport Express bus, which is only about $5 US. And if you want a cheaper option, the public transit comes out to about $2 US. And I've used it both ways. It is super simple. You can take the tram, a bus, or metro, the combo of them all. It's super simple, and I highly recommend it, especially if you're looking to save money. And if you really want to set yourself up for success, I'd highly recommend downloading the PID app before you come. It's the official transit app here that the locals use, and you can buy all your tickets on there. It's super simple, so you shouldn't have any issues there. And if you are going to be wandering around and using the public transit, you also probably want to have the way to make sure that your phone works. I use an app called Airalo to purchase an eSIM. And if you're not familiar with an eSIM, basically think of it as a way to pre-purchase access to use the local cellular data. Now that kind of sounds confusing, but basically you download the app, you pay a couple bucks, and when you land in Prague, your phone will just work so you can navigate the public transit and wander around. I've used it for over a month in Prague, and I also use it every single month because I move to a new country every month. I did partner up with these guys because I've tested like 10, 15 different eSIM companies, and I find that they're just the most user-friendly. So if you want to check that out, link will be down below and the QR code. I think you can save a little bit of money with code Camden15. So hopefully that helps you on your trip. But also don't make the mistake of not recognizing the art and the beauty here. You have to make sure that you set time to wander in this city. There is so much everywhere. It's going to be sensory overload, and it's so special. Every building has just this like exquisite charm and uniqueness to it. And if you really want to enhance your experience and enhance the magic, schedule time early in the morning, like before 8 a.m., or once the sun goes down. You'll find that the streets are swarmed with tourists, especially in the day, but if you can get out early or are willing to stay out late, gosh, this is one of the most rewarding cities in the world to just wander and have that magical time. So if you're willing to put in that extra effort, gosh, you're gonna be rewarded in a huge way. But let's talk about food real quick, because this is an incredible food city, and then we'll get to the overrated, underrated stuff. With the food recommendations, I'm gonna give you just a couple high-level spots, but if you want all my recommendations, I made a free digital guide for you. You can download it right here. It's got everything that I have in there, so I hope it's helpful on your trip. But I wanna start with a couple special coffee spots. You'll find that the coffee scene here is incredible. People really value the quality here, and it's such a fun scene. If you're searching for the highest quality, Maze Lab is just unbeatable. This place is really like into the science of coffee. It's in a local area of town, and you're not going to be disappointed if you're a coffee nerd. Now, if you're not that into coffee and are just looking for quality stuff, but that's a bit more accessible to where the tourists are going to be hanging out, then I'd recommend One Sip or Ebel. Both of these are in Old Town, so really accessible for most tourists, and they're really high quality cups of coffee, but do note that because they're in that Old Town where rents are more expensive, there are smaller spaces, so probably not the spots to go and cozy up for, an hour or two. These are more grab and go. If you're chasing more of the vibes, I got two others for you, Cafe Letka or Coffee and Riot. Both of these wonderful options, really unique settings, beautiful spaces, and decent products as well. I don't think you'll be disappointed with either of those options. But let's talk about a few options that go beyond just coffee. The first is a spot called Eska, and this is one of my absolute favorites. It's in a trendy area of town. They are wonderful. They have great baked goods, great dishes as well. You can go there for breakfast, lunch. It's just a wonderful spot, and I highly recommend it, especially for folks who want to experience some of that local food scene. One of my other favorite spots is a spot called Mo, and this again is in a more local area of town. Good coffee, but also really nice dishes. Healthy, everything is really fresh. I find that they're just operating at a high level, so go show them some love. Now, if you want something a bit heartier, you want like a full meal, try Nasze Maso. This is my absolute favorite in Prague. It's a butcher, and they have incredible burgers. Do note that they cook things definitely on the rare side for most Americans. Just embrace it. It is so flavorful, so fresh. These guys have been doing it forever. There's going to be a line. It is a super quick in and out place. You can even take your burger to go. It's going to be one of the best burgers you've ever had in your life. Probably my favorite burger in the entire world. So go give them some love. And if you're looking for more of a proper sit down, a special meal, check out V-Shep. It is spectacular. It is again in a local area of town, very traditional and local flavors, but with a modern twist. They do everything at a high level as well. You do have like a tasting menu option, but you can also order a la carte. I wouldn't necessarily call it fancy, but it's definitely a step up and is an elevated cuisine. Really great experience there. But let's move into some overrated and underrated spots around town that you might want to know about, and then we'll get into the areas of town that you should hang out. So first up is Archer's Island, and I'm gonna say this spot is underrated. Not enough tourists visit it. It is beautiful, it's really accessible, and it's just a beautiful place for a walk. You're gonna find locals hanging out there just about any hour of the day. Beautiful views from the island, just really stunning. And also you have some furry critters there. You'll find some beaver looking things that are actually called nutria, and they're super cute, and they are all around this island as well. So if you have the time and you're looking for a slower pace, highly recommend Archer's Island. Next up, we have the Waldstein Garden, and this is a spot that is on many tourists' radar. Do note that there are some tour groups that will go through here, so you are going to interact with some crowds, but it is well worth seeing. I'm going to say this place is fairly rated. Also, don't miss the dripstone wall. It is just a stunning piece of architecture in there that sometimes the tour groups don't actually go and show you. And also don't be surprised if you run into peacocks in there. It's just a beautiful garden with beautiful animals, and it is definitely something that you should go and check out. Just don't miss that dripstone wall. Next up is on everybody's list, and it's the astronomical clock. And hear me out on this. I'm gonna say it's a bit overrated for a couple of reasons. It is beautiful, it is historic, it's over 600 years old, and it is very impressive. But the mistake here is that so many tourists center their vacation around seeing this clock do its little routine at the top of the hour. And they get there early, they sit and they're waiting for it, everybody's pointing their phones at it rather than actually watching it happen. And guys, I promise this is not something you need to film, and you're just gonna be one in the crowd. It's beautiful, but you have to remember, it's 600 years old, so the little routine that it does isn't gonna be something that's gonna be very impressive to you. So yes, definitely see the clock, but don't feel the need to center your vacation around waiting for the little show, especially if you're trying to avoid crowds of people. There's just so much more that the city has to offer, so I'm gonna say a smidge overrated. Next up is the Vertba Gardens, and guys, this one is definitely underrated. It's a seasonal garden that isn't open during the winter, but if you have the opportunity to visit this one, you definitely should. It is stunning, and yes, you are gonna have to pay a few dollars to get in, but because of that, you don't have nearly as many crowds, and it is just a stunning garden. It's small, but it provides gorgeous views of the entire city and just one of the most peaceful places in town. So definitely underrated. I'd highly recommend it. Next is the Prague Castle. And yes, of course, this is on everybody's list and it is a must do when you're in Prague. My tip here is twofold. One, be prepared for hills. You are gonna have to tackle hills one way or another, and it really is steep, so take your time. But the most important thing here is I actually think it's better to wait until night. During the day, there's tour groups going up, there's just lots of people, and it can just be a crowded experience. But if you wait till night, it is just gorgeous. Almost nobody is up there. It's peaceful. I think it's all the more beautiful at night. So to me, it's best if you can save that experience for night, but hey, you do you. I'm gonna say it's a fairly rated place. Next is Vyšehrad, and this is a fort that is missed by most tourists, and that would be a mistake. This place is definitely underrated, and here's why. One, you are likely going to take a metro to get here, so because of that, you have less crowds. It's a different type of fort. It has stunning views that overlook the river and the rest of the city, and it's just a really peaceful place to go for a long stroll or even a picnic. You're going to see tons of locals. It's going to be a very different pace than what you're going to experience in most of the rest of Prague, and I definitely think it's well worth visiting, even if you're only in town for 2 to 3 days. It's one of my favorite and most underrated spots on this list. Next up is the Docks Museum, and this is a wonderful contemporary art museum that again is in a more local area of town. It's a very hip area and you can feel that in the museum itself. If you're into contemporary art, you'll really like it. Some really interesting installations, and again, not many tourists, or at least not as many as there should be. So I think it's one of the most underrated spots, but hey, you make the decision there. Next up is Charles Bridge, which of course you're gonna do, and it's gonna be on everybody's list, and you should do it. My tip here is very similar to the castle. I think it's most magical if you can wake up early or save it for night. During the day, there's just gonna be tons of people, so it's a little bit harder to appreciate, but it really is a work of art. It's so historical, and it's something that you definitely can't miss, but it's gonna be better if you can wait till night. Next up is Wenceslas Square, and guys, I'm gonna say this one is firmly overrated. I know it has some historical context, but right now, it just serves the tourists. It's kind of wedged between Old Town and where some of the big museums are, and because of that, there's heavy tourism foot traffic. And because of that, it means that everything is just commercialized. You're not getting anything that is very unique to the culture. You're gonna have a lot of the chain stuff that it's like, hey, we don't need to experience this in Prague. So to me, it's the least magical part of the city. I'm not saying you need to avoid it, but it's not a place that I would seek out or that you should feel like your trip is incomplete without visiting. So for me, firmly overrated. I should also note that it's one of my least favorite places at night, can feel a little bit sketchy. Next up is Letensky Profil, and this is a beautiful park. It overlooks the city, and it's special for a couple of reasons. One, you're so close to Old Town, so you have great views, but a lot of tourists won't make the journey up there because of the hill. It also has just this gorgeous beer garden where tons of locals are going to be on a nightly basis. It's a great spot to watch the sunset. And if you're wanting one of those slow-paced local experiences, it's hard to beat just walking up there and hanging out around sunset. It's just magical, and I'd highly recommend it. Definitely underrated, but it's actually not my favorite park in the city. This one is. And this park is just stunning. It's in a very local area of town. You're not going to deal with any tourists up there. You're just going to be one with the locals, and it is just a peaceful place. Go for a long stroll, take a book and read, pack a picnic. If you're looking for a slow pace, you're not going to find a better option in Prague. So I love it. I think it's definitely underrated. Definitely something you should visit, especially in the summer. Next up, we have one of the oldest open air markets in Prague, and it is beautiful. It is a fun spot to walk through, and a lot of tourists will because it's there in Old Town. you could probably guess I'm going to say this one is a bit overrated because today it really is catering to the tourist. Prices are a bit high. You're going to find a lot of gimmicky stuff. And yes, again, it's cute to walk through, but I'd be careful before spending your money here. It's just not the best value. Now, if you are looking for a market that's a bit more local, check out Poleshovice. This is a market that is in a more local area of town. And yes, there is still going to be a bit of tourist spillover, but not nearly as much. And the prices are much better. Now, don't expect anything grand. This really is a market that some locals are using. And I'm not going to say it's a must visit. I'll say it's fairly rated. And if you have an extended period of time or are checking out this kind of industrial area of town, which I'll touch on in a second, then it could be worth walking through, but don't feel the need to go out of your way. But if I had to pick a market, I'd definitely take this one over the one that's in Old Town. Next up, we have this library that ends up on so many tourist lists, and I understand why. There's this beautiful book tower that everybody likes to take photos of. I'm going to say this place is a bit overrated because of how people utilize the space. What you'll notice is tourists, they're waiting out the door. It's like a 30, sometimes 40-minute line to take pictures of the book tower. But instead, what you should do is just walk in through the side doors where you can go straight into the library that is definitely more beautiful than just the book tower itself. And then from there, you can still take pictures of the book tower without you going straight up to it. So no, I'm not saying you're going to get to skip the line. You don't need a picture in the book tower itself, but you're going to save yourself from waiting in that line. You'll see the library, you'll still see the book tower, and you can go and enjoy the rest of your vacation. So that's how I do it, but hey, you do you. Next up is Bilkova Villa. And guys, this is one of the most underrated spots in the city. This is a villa that has been transformed into a museum. And guys, if you value art, this place is unmatched. It is stunning. The owner has just an incredible collection of art, wonderful sculptures, paintings, all kinds of things. And it's in a very local area of town, and you're quite literally walking through his old home. It's one of the most special museums in all of Prague to me, and most tourists completely miss it. So if you value art, I definitely say this one is underrated, well worth your time. But let's talk about some of the areas of town that you might want to base yourself in and explore to give you that opportunity to branch out a little bit. And before you do that, if you're new and you want to support my journey for free, best way to do that is hit the subscribe and like button. I move to a new country every single month, and I'm constantly putting out videos like this. I do it full time, so hopefully I can be of value to you more than just this one time, and I appreciate the support. But the first area of town is, of course, Prague 1. Now, I should probably mention it's important to have the context that Prague is split up into numbered districts. So Prague 1 is where the old town and where most of the tourists are going to be hanging out. And again, nothing wrong with this area, but you are going to pay a premium for accommodation and for food. It's where more of the tourist traps are. So yes, definitely visit it, but be a little bit careful about how you spend your money. And if you're wanting to branch out, which I highly recommend, obviously, then you're going to want to push beyond just Prague 1 to experience everything that I've shown you in this video. So next area is Prague 6. This is a beautiful area of town. It's where I chose to stay for my entire month, and it was perfect. Very local. It's got that wonderful park and top tier coffee spots. It's just one of my absolute favorites. And you're still about a 15-minute walk to the old town. So you're plenty close enough. And it's definitely a spot that if you're chasing a local, authentic experience, I'd recommend Prague 6. Next up, we have the 7th district. And if everything that I just explained in the 6th sounds good, but you want something that is a little livelier, a little bit younger and just hip, Prague 7 is where it's at. This is an industrial, just very interesting area of town. It's got its own flair to it, and I definitely say it's worth visiting, especially if you're here for more than 2 or 3 days. If you're really short on time and you want to just stick to the old world stuff, you can do that, but I find it really rewarding walking through Prague 7. It's just going to give you a different perspective on Prague because it's modern and it definitely has that hipster element, just very interesting to see. Next up, we have the 8th district, and this is one of my favorites. It has a neighborhood called Karlin that is just really popular right now. It's definitely hip, very entrepreneurial, and it's close to the old town. So you're in great proximity without having to tackle any hills. And it's still going to give you a local feel compared to the old town. So it's a great place to explore and even stay in. I'd highly recommend it. No issues with this area. Next up, we have the 3rd district, which is one of my favorites and maybe one of the best values in town. It's hugged up against the 8th district in that Karlin neighborhood, but because it doesn't have as much of that entrepreneurial base, things are a bit more affordable. There's some great deals over here, good food scene, beautiful parks. Now, I wouldn't necessarily prioritize it over the other districts that we've touched on, but if you're staying for more than just a couple days, then it's definitely an area of town that you won't be disappointed visiting. Next up, we have the second district, and this is one of my favorites. It's just south of Old Town in Prague 1, and there's just so much to love about this area. Some great food, very local, a bit more modern in areas, but you still have things like that other fort that I'd highly recommend, and you have the river, so you can walk straight up it to easily access the Old Town. It's just a really nice balance between all things, so I really enjoy it, and I'm sure you will as well. Definitely not something to miss. And just remember, the more time you give yourself to explore the city and branch out of that Old Town, the more you're gonna fall in love with it. So if you wanna hear just my unfiltered thoughts after spending a month there, you can watch this video right here. If you have questions, leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and I hope it was helpful.